If someone told Hollywood that one man could dominate professional sports, become the era-defining action star, and later hold the highest political office in California, they would have laughed. Yet Arnold Schwarzenegger did exactly that. His story is more than a biography. It is a blueprint of obsession, ambition, and survival. Behind the dazzling smile and public charisma lay a relentless drive, forged in hardship, and a life marked by both brilliance and darkness. To understand how an Austrian boy from a war-torn village became a global icon, we must return to the ruins of post-war Europe, to a house filled with fear, and to the first sparks of a vision that would one day reshape America. This is the story of flesh, blood, ambition, and the cost of absolute determination. Born into ruins, Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger entered the world on July 30th, 1947, in Thal, a small village outside Graz, Austria. The country was a shadow of its former self, recovering from the devastation of World War II under foreign occupation. Life was grim, and hope was scarce. In the Schwarzenegger household, comforts were non-existent. No indoor plumbing, no central heating, water fetched from a well even in harsh winter. But the true terror was not the cold, it was the father. Gustav Schwarzenegger, the local police chief and former Nazi party member, ruled his home with military precision. Childhood was a regime of discipline, intimidation, and comparison. The war's shadow had followed him home, leaving scars that he inflicted on his sons. In this environment, Arnold's early life became a test of survival, resilience, and cunning. The father, the rival, and the bruised boy Gustav pitted Arnold against his older brother, Meinhard, fostering competition at the breakfast table, praising the winner and punishing the loser. Arnold was often on the losing side. Mockery, belittling, and physical discipline were routine. Belts, hair-pulling, and verbal abuse left emotional marks. Yet Arnold responded with detachment rather than despair. Where Meinhard eventually succumbed to alcoholism and tragedy, Arnold hardened. He began to see himself as separate from his family and village, a foreign presence in his own home. Amid the suffering, a quiet determination began to stir. He didn't yet know how, but he felt destined for something greater. This feeling of alienation planted the seed for a relentless ambition that would later take him far beyond the borders of Austria. The dark theater and the American dream. Arnold's dream found its first clarity in a dark movie theater in Graz. Newsreels of America, towering skyscrapers, enormous cars, bright sunshine, and triumphant people, offered a vision of a world vastly different from his gray existence. America became a destination, a promise of escape. His path crystallized when he discovered a magazine featuring Reggie Park, the British bodybuilder who had conquered Mr. Universe and Hollywood alike. For the first time, Arnold saw a blueprint: lift, sculpt, move to America, conquer the screen. His mother was horrified by his fascination with muscular physiques, and his father dismissed it as folly. But Arnold's obsession had begun. This vision would drive every decision, every sacrifice, and every struggle, setting the stage for a life defined by extraordinary ambition and unwavering self-belief. The gym as a prison break. Arnold transformed obsession into action. He trained with relentless intensity, breaking into the gym on Sundays when it was closed and enduring freezing conditions to lift heavy iron. This was more than bodybuilding. It was a means of liberation from the oppressive confines of his family and country. Even during mandatory military service, he prioritized training over orders, sometimes deserting post to compete in contests. In Stuttgart, he entered the junior Mr. Europe competition without proper trunks or oil, and he won. The victory was more than a trophy. It was a revelation. Arnold realized that conventional rules, military, family, societal, did not apply to him. This taste of triumph in darkness shaped his approach, a combination of fearless risk-taking and meticulous planning that would become a hallmark of his life. The Austrian oak becomes American steel. After triumphs in Europe, Arnold set his sights on the ultimate prize, America. In 1968, he arrived with a gym bag, a thick accent, and the unshakable belief that he was destined to conquer. Introduced to Joe Weider, the bodybuilding pioneer, he entered the American arena. But the competition was fierce. Frank Zane, smaller and more refined, defeated him in Miami. For many, this would have been discouragement. For Arnold, it was a lesson. Sheer size was not enough. He relocated to Venice Beach, California, where Gold's Gym became his cathedral. There, he honed every weakness, focusing on physique, technique, and strategic thinking. He wasn't merely training muscles. He was rebuilding himself, body and mind, for a destiny he refused to compromise. The mind games that made a champion. Arnold's mastery extended beyond physical strength. He understood the psychological dimension of competition. He befriended rivals, complimented them, and subtly undermined their confidence. Before contests, he used charm, humor, and manipulation to gain a mental edge. At Gold's Gym, alongside comrades like Franco Columbu, Dave Draper, and Ken Waller, Arnold combined camaraderie with subtle competition. Every interaction, every training session was calculated. Physical perfection alone wouldn't guarantee victory. He needed to dominate the mind as well as the body. This strategic cunning made him a legend in bodybuilding circles and laid the groundwork for the charisma and presence that would later define his Hollywood career. Pumping Iron, the first blockbuster. The 1977 documentary Pumping Iron captured Arnold's genius. Facing the massive Lou Ferrigno, Arnold was the smaller, younger, less defined competitor. But he won through psychological strategy. He dominated conversations, subtly sowed doubt, and showcased a magnetic blend of charm and arrogance. The film elevated him beyond bodybuilding, turning a niche sport into global fascination. Arnold's charisma and presence were undeniable. He compared the physical pump to sexual satisfaction, shocking audiences while cementing his cultural status. By 1975, after his sixth consecutive Mr. Olympia win, Arnold had already achieved what many thought impossible. He had conquered bodybuilding, reshaping the sport into a platform for global fame and influence. The millionaire who built his own empire. Arnold wasn't just sculpting his body, he was building wealth. Partnering with Franco Columbu, he started a bricklaying business, offering premium European craftsmanship. Profits funded mail-order fitness courses and real estate investments, making Arnold a millionaire by age 22. While others relied solely on fame or talent, he understood the power of diversified ambition. With money, fame, and the body he had meticulously sculpted, Arnold returned to the vision from Graz, Hollywood. He knew the path would be fraught with skepticism, but his past had taught him to defy expectations, break rules, and pursue a seemingly impossible dream. Hollywood laughs, then learns. Hollywood mocked him. His accent, his physique, his name, all were deemed obstacles. Industry gatekeepers could not imagine a leading man with Arnold's body and European roots. Yet he saw opportunity in what others perceived as flaws. He would transform his supposed weaknesses into trademarks. He began acting classes, voice coaching, and accent reduction. But his true strength lay in presence. Arnold didn't aim to be conventional, he aimed to be unforgettable. By embracing his uniqueness, he set himself apart in an era dominated by small, gritty actors, laying the foundation for an unprecedented career as the action hero of the 1980s and beyond. Conan and the birth of a new genre. Arnold's early films tested him, from Hercules in New York to Conan the Barbarian in 1982. His acting skills were raw, but his screen presence was magnetic. Like bodybuilding, he applied repetition, focus, and strategy to acting. He became a symbol of physical dominance and unstoppable force. Conan didn't just introduce him to the world. It created a new archetype in Hollywood, the muscular, commanding action hero. Arnold wasn't just acting. He was performing the culmination of a lifelong strategy, merging psychological insight, relentless discipline, and an unshakable belief in himself. The world now recognized him as a star, but the journey was far from over. Conclusion: the true cost of ambition. Arnold Schwarzenegger's life is a testament to the power and peril of absolute ambition. From a harsh childhood in Austria to the pinnacles of bodybuilding, Hollywood stardom, and political power, every success carried hidden sacrifices. Behind the charisma, the laughter, and the triumphs were relentless discipline, psychological warfare, and personal struggle. The man who lifted the world physically and metaphorically also battled private demons, medical crises, and personal betrayals. His story reminds us that the American dream is rarely without cost. Monumental achievements demand sacrifice, resilience, and cunning. Arnold's journey illuminates both the exhilaration of ambition realized and the shadows that follow in its wake, offering a portrait of a life extraordinary in every imaginable way.